Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the tabernacle of David, the for elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Now, it wasn't even a week ago where, the situation down in Mexico, where you had the leader of the Jalisco cartel, he got put to death, and it became a conflict where the cartels were, retaliating. They were holding hotels hostage. It was a lot of car theft, carjackings, a lot of killing. They pretty much had to, shut several cities down in Mexico. And you had American tourists who were actually trapped in their hotels and their airports. And, people were stranded. They didn't know if they were going to make it back home. I did a lesson on it. A couple contacting their parents that, they might not make it back home. So, you know where to find my will. I might need you to, keep our child, for an extended period of time because we don't know what's going to happen. And this is just all to show that a lot of these Americans, they have a warped sense of reality, because, one of the main issues with Babylon, which the Bible even diagnoses this society as a decadent, pleasure-seeking society. Thou that dwellest carelessly, all right, that basically seek after pleasure and dwell careless. So no matter where they go in the world, because they are American, and they come from a country whose, currency is still the top reserve currency. It has more value than other currencies, even though it's depreciating in value every day. They go and they take that same self-secure mentality wherever they go. And so you got our people that's over in Dubai, and I'm gonna play this clip. Now you got Jake over in Dubai stuck because they had no idea that a war was getting ready to happen. All right, and Dubai is allied to the West. So what Iran is doing is they're targeting all defense systems and also U.S. bases that are reachable within that region. So if you happen to be in any of those Middle Eastern regions where they're allied with the U.S. and they have bases there, they have anti-defense in that region, Iran is targeting those areas. So our people, they have no discernment, and that's why the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, he that keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing. Then it also goes on to say that basically a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. You see? Our people, they don't have any discernment. They're not prudent. All they worried about is their own pleasure and security, while the rest of the world is in turmoil. So let me play this clip real quick.
My name is Shekinah Lee. I am 26 years old. I'm from Chicago. I'm currently in Dubai. I'm in a parking shelter. We've received so many emergency alerts. We've seen the missiles with our own two eyes. We've heard the explosions. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I know that for people who are staying on the Palm Jumeirah, like me, we are currently taking shelter. So I just wanted to give you all this update for people back home that may not know what's going on. Trump, thanks again for nothing. You get out of America and you still are affected by his foolery. It's like overwhelming at this point. However, we're safe right now. It's hot. I mean,
And what the hell your young ass doing in Dubai? You know, we know about the activities that go on over there with our women when they, you know, especially when they're young. We know the activities, you know, but right now is not the time to be trying to, you know, go vacate and kick your feet up and have your hair blown in the wind. We're not in that time. You know, so, and this shows you that the Lord did not impart unto these women wisdom. Because if she had any discernment, she would understand time and judgment. You know, what's that in? I think it's also in Ecclesiastes around the 8th chapter. You know, there's because to every purpose there's a time and judgment. You know, and man knoweth not when that can happen. That's why we always exhort, you know, for brothers and you sisters out there to walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. So you would be able to discern time and judgment. The judgment is going out. And this is just day 2. So and they're striking hard on both sides. So this ain't gonna die down anytime soon. So you can get caught up, you know, basically anywhere, especially if you over in that hotbed. All right, I wouldn't be in no damn Dubai right now, knowing the flaring tensions that had been already escalating between Iran, Amalek, and Babylon. All right, so, you know, this came upon them suddenly, and now they're stuck. Let me get Ecclesiastes 9. Yeah, women, they love comfort and pleasure, man. They really think that they're safe and secure. Ecclesiastes 9:12, it says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them." And we know when there's evil in a city, we know it's the Lord that did it. All right, and we've been blowing the trumpet. All right, of you know, evil, you know, pestilence, war. But it falls on deaf ears because our people, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear smooth things, and they want to live in comfort. So this is what that mentality can cost you. All right, I'm about to go out and make plans with my girls. We're finna go on a trip. We're finna go out to Dubai, or we're finna go down to Mexico. You know, we're finna chill on the beach, chill in the resort. And you don't even realize where you heading is a war zone. It can go down at any point, because that's the times that we're living in. You know? So, hey, you know, she'd be lucky to make it back home. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of flights being canceled. There's no-fly zones all across the so-called Middle East. All right. And then there's also a no-travel advisory for Americans. You'd be an idiot to still try to travel to these places where, you know, things are up, you know, because, hey, the Lord said, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." So these plagues, the Lord's going to turn it up and the whole world's going to feel it. So it doesn't matter where you go. You're not going to be able to escape with the calamities, the hell, all right, that the Lord has for this world. All right. Let me get let me get 2nd Ezra real quick. 2nd Ezra 8 and verse 50. And it says, for many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And a lot of our people are filled with pride, man. You know, they lovers of themselves. They're covetous. They're boastful. They're proud. So the Lord's going to match that pride, man, that arrogancy. Okay, he's gonna turn your heaven into hell. All right, you gonna be in calamities, and there, like it says in Sirach 11th chapter, there's a forgetfulness of prosperity in the day of affliction. All right, that's when you're gonna want to get serious. You're gonna want to try to seek the Lord. That's when our people want to all of a sudden start believing in the Most High. You know, and we're gonna come to that point where the men of the Lord, they're gonna have the last laugh. Because then it will be known that prophets have been among you. Because the warning, the constant warning, the urgent messaging has went across the four corners of the earth, man. All right. The gospel shall be preached among nations all across the world, and then shall the end comes. So, now we're gonna see the pressure is gonna start to build up, because we're in that time of travail, the birth pains. All right, earthquakes in diverse places, wars, rumors of wars, uproars of the people. All right, seditions among men, and that is going to continue to heighten as we get closer. Okay, let's finish this little clip out.
I mean, it's hot, and so thanks for watching.
All right, so currently in the lobby of my hotel. Y'all probably could hear the emergency message going off. A bomb just hit. I'm not too far away. Kind of felt like an earthquake. Very loud noise. Everybody's phones going off. Ain't gonna lie, it's kind of crazy, y'all. The lady across the hall from us said she's Lebanese and this is nothing. She's experienced it before. So it kind of made us feel better, but I ain't gonna lie, growing up in the States, we ain't really deal with stuff like this, so just trying to keep calm through it all, remain prayed up, and yeah. Everybody is making their way down to the lobby, starting to fill up. You can like literally smell the debris, you can smell it.
Yeah, the Lord is making it hot. He's gonna make it hot in every region on earth. All right, and guess what? The plagues are not going to stop. All right, it's not going to stop, man. 2nd Ezra's the 16th chapter. All right, the plagues are being sent, and who is he that may turn it back? So hey, we've been locked and loaded, man, preparing ourselves. Detached from this world, and we constantly exhort one another. It tells us that in Hebrews the 10th chapter. Let us exhort one another while it is today. As we see the day approaching, now it's high time to awake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believed. So you don't want to get caught, unattentive. All right, you don't want to be caught off guard. All right, because like it says in 1 Thessalonians, I have no need to write unto you, for you fully well, you very well know the time that we're in. Let's get that. Yeah, 1 Thessalonians 5:1, it says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. I mean, y'all ain't been seeing the doomsday clock. The hands being inching closer and closer towards midnight. Well, the men of the Lord, we already know what that is, because we're measuring the times diligently. Our people, they're still asleep. They claim that they woke, this TikTok generation, but no, they're still asleep. Because if they were actually awoke, they would hearken to the prophets. They would literally take our urgent messages seriously. All right. It says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Nobody. All right. We're getting ready to go through a time of trouble that has not been since there was a nation. All right. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. You are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. And that's all we're to do. All right, be circumspect, watch, be vigilant. All right, be on guard spiritually. Discern your whereabouts, where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you got your head on the swivel and not in the sand. These Americans, because they dwell with all they concerned with is pleasure, decadence, luxury. All right. So this is how they're gonna start getting caught up. Because America, we already know what's about to happen here in the States. All right. It's going to be more American government, anti-Trump rhetoric, sentiment. All right. And you probably not even safe going to these other countries with that growing sentiment escalating. All right. More DTA, you know what I'm saying? Anti-American sentiment. You could very well be targeted in these other countries and don't realize it. You thinking you going to a tourist attraction to take a breather and chill, and you're not even wanted over there. So it's definitely not wise to be traveling to these other areas, man. All right. Everybody should be trying to get their house in order. All right. Preparing themselves. All right. That's not to say, stay locked into your home and, don't go nowhere. Take care of your business and just pray every single time that you leave the house. Say a prayer every time you leave, man. Because you never know. And we say, Lord willing, we're going to, do anything. All right. I'm pretty sure these jakes that went to these other places down in Mexico, when that popped off, now over in the so-called Middle East, Dubai, they didn't say Lord willing when they made their trip. Hey, Lord willing, we're going to, try to go out, and Lord willing, we make it back safe and sound, because Jake got a lot of pride on them, but that's because they're Babylonians, they're American. So, yeah, man. And when it started to come here to the States, it's just going to start happening on the sudden, and they ain't going to be able to put it off. They really think that they're really secure. Now there's a fear that them sleeper cells can start activating. So you don't know where safe at anywhere right now. Isaiah 47 and 8, it says, therefore hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, and sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Meaning, I should never be in adversity. I've never, suffered loss, tragedy. Even though, there's been certain things done, on the soils. Hell, how this place was even built up. All right. It was on bloodshed, violence, genocide. So you already know this place is on its way out. We're reaching the 250th year of the country. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. All your witchcraft, sorcery. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it have perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. When they start to feel like they're on the level of the Most High now, because they got all this military might and technology. They got AI, they setting up their technocracy. They got their wise men, their monthly prognosticators, stargazers, their priests. They got their left hand child sacrifices, and that's what gives them left hand power. So because of all that, you think that you're not going to lose. But the Lord is making a declaration. We keep that same energy. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. So when this shit start to hit the fan, a lot of these Babylonians, they're going to be further perplexed. They're going to be in a state of bewilderment. They're going to be in fear. All right. And they're going to be trying to seek answers because they're going to be, startled by what's going on. Well, you should have listened to when we was out there. Y'all said that we were bums and, we were fear mongers. We didn't know what we was talking about. It's going to start making sense to you. And it's going to be too late because the Lord going to eventually, close down shop. And you ain't going to be able to get access to those answers. All right. The Lord's going to cause the roof of the mouth of his men to cleave. The tongue is going to cleave to the roof of their mouths. That shall not be a reprover unto Jake. No, go seek after the gods that you worship and see if they deliver you in this time of trouble. Proverbs 1, the Lord says he's going to mock when they fear come, because when he called them, they refused. When he stretched out his hand, they didn't regard. It says, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And they ain't going to be able to put it off because the Lord is going to be the one, all right, doing this. Okay. And they ain't going to, their left hand power ain't going to have any answers for what the Lord is doing, just like in Egypt. All right. So if there be some false flags happening within the country, which they're capable of doing it because they prove that they can do it. They've done it already. They can continuously do it, and it'll give them a reason to say, all right, everybody needs to be identified. Everything needs to be monitored under surveillance. And it would be the perfect time for them to roll out the MOTB. So if war happens in the country and there's sleeper cells and all that, watch what happens. All right. There's going to be insurrections. All those warehouses that have been bought up, they're all converted into concentration camps. All right. People are going to be getting placed in them. They're going to come after the middle of the Lord and persecute us. And they're going to definitely have to roll that C-hip out. All right. The people are going to be afraid to leave their homes. And that's Isaiah the 24th chapter. All right. Because the mirth of the land is going to be adios. It's going to be out, gone. All right. Hey, was that in Ecclesiastes 7? The heart of the wise is in a house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in a house of mirth. So, with this carefree attitude and wanting to always have fun and dwell careless, yeah. So I just want to touch up on that. All right. Just not even a week ago, you had Babylonians stranded in Mexico. We don't, and there's been they ain't talking about it no more. Now it's on to Iran and Babylon. All right. That's all they talking about. So who knows what's happening down still in Mexico with them cartels. So, yeah, man, I just want to touch on that. And Lord willing, this was edifying. Let me give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.